What up, guys? It's boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for the Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Comedy Central announced Tuesday that diehard icon Bruce Willis will be the target of its next roast. The cable television special is scheduled to be taped in Los Angeles this summer. The program's air date and the names of the stars who will mock Willis during the show are expected to be announced in the near future. The 60-year-old actor said in a statement, "This ain't the first time I'll be tied to a chair and held hostage by a group of humorous fucks for a couple hours." Ken Alterman, the network's president, says Bruce has survived terrorists, Armageddon, romance, and death itself, yet nothing has prepared him for this roast. Previous celebrities who allowed themselves to be teased mercilessly by their fellow celebrities include Rob Lowe, Justin Bieber, James Franco, Charlie Sheen, Donald Trump, Pamela Anderson, and William Shatner. Amal Clooney says her romance with husband George Clooney felt, quote, natural. The 40-year-old barrister recalled falling for the 56-year-old actor in the May issue of Vogue. Amal and George had their first date at a restaurant in London after meeting at George's house in Lake Como, Italy. Amal said of their romance, "It felt like the most natural thing in the world. Before that experience, I always hoped there could be love that was overwhelming and didn't require any weighing or decision-making." She explained, "It's the one thing in life that I think is the biggest determinant of happiness, and it's the thing you have least control over. Are you going to meet this person? I was 35 when I met him. It wasn't obvious that it was going to happen for me." George agreed, saying he was instantly attracted to Amal when they met and, quote, immediately knew that something was very different after their first date. The actor said, "Of course she was beautiful, but I also thought she was fascinating, and I thought she was brilliant. Her life was incredibly exciting. The clients she was taking on and the superhuman work she was doing, I was taken with her from the moment I saw her." Amal and George married in Venice, Italy in September 2014 and welcomed their twins daughter Ella and son Alexander in June. George couldn't help but gush about Amal in the February episode of My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, saying the barrister gave his life greater purpose. The star said, "I have to say, before I had the twins, I felt that about her." He also added, "I felt that I met someone who I would absolutely trade my life for. I met someone that her life meant more to me than my life, and I'd never had that experience before." T.J. Miller was charged with making a fake bomb threat while on an Amtrak train, the U.S. Department of Justice said Tuesday. Miller was arrested Monday night in Queens, New York, and charged with intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information regarding an explosive device on a train headed to Connecticut, according to the Justice Department complaint. The Justice Department alleged Miller told a 911 dispatcher in New Jersey that a passenger, which he described as a woman with brown hair and a scarf, had a bomb in her bag while he was traveling on Amtrak train 2256 from Washington, D.C. on March 18th. When Amtrak investigators and bomb squad members searched the train as it arrived in Connecticut, no evidence of any explosive device or materials were detected, and an investigator contacted Miller by phone. During the phone call, Miller told the investigator the woman had red hair and a red scarf and was carrying, quote, black bag carrying on suitcase with a handle. The Justice Department says he said she kept checking her bag without taking anything out, kept asking the first-class attendant what the next stop was, and seemed to want to get off the train and leave her bag behind. The officer detected Miller was slurring his words and asked if he had consumed alcohol that day, to which Miller responded he had one glass of red wine. He also denied any history of mental illness. It was later determined Miller was traveling on Amtrak train 2258, which was also stopped and inspected by authorities, who again found no explosive devices or materials. Amtrak officers also interviewed an attendant from the first-class car where Miller had been sitting, who said he appeared intoxicated when he entered the train and was later removed in New York due to his intoxication after having multiple drinks during the trip. The attendant also said had been involved in hostile exchanges with the woman sitting in a different row, who would have been largely out of Miller's view unless he had, quote, repeatedly stood up to observe her over or around the intervening seat row. Investigators identified and interviewed the woman and determined she wasn't carrying any explosives or engaging in any of the behavior Miller alleged, according to the complaint. Miller was released on a $100,000 bond Tuesday, and the charge carries a maximum term of imprisonment of 5 years. The matter is also being investigated by the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, as well as local law enforcement and transport authorities. Miller formerly starred in the HBO comedy series Silicon Valley, but parted with the show prior to its 5th season, citing creative differences. Comedian Martin Lawrence and Oscar-winning filmmaker Jordan Peele turned out to support Tracy Morgan when the TV and movie actor was presented with his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame Tuesday. Also by Morgan's side was his wife Megan, daughter Maven, and son Tracy Jr. Morgan is best known for his work in the small-screen comedy Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. He recently returned to the series television in The Last OG. This marks his first full-time job since he was seriously injured as a passenger in a 2014 car crash. AMC announced Tuesday it plans to air a new supernatural horror series called NOS4A2 in 2019. The 10-part drama is based on a novel by Joe Hill, who will serve as an executive producer. Jamie O'Brien, whose credits include Fear the Walking Dead and Hell on Wheels, is the showrunner. No casting has been announced yet. Hill said in a statement, "I couldn't be more excited about the forthcoming adaptation of NOS4A2. I know it's in good hands with showrunner Jamie O'Brien. Her beautifully composed scripts shows a writer at the height of her powers, one who has an exquisite touch with character and relentless instinct for suspense." AMC record speaks for itself. Who wouldn't want to be in business with the madmen who broke bad and made the dead walk? And production company Ternati's dedication to bringing singular visions to television has freed everyone involved to do their best and truest work. Can't wait to see what Vic McQueen turn the throttle and go after Charlie Manx in 2019. Let's ride. The story follows McQueen, a working-class artist who discovers she has the supernatural ability to track the seemingly immortal Charlie Manx, who feeds off the souls of children, then deposits what remains of them into a twisted Christmas village where it is illegal to be unhappy, a news release says. Industrial and special effects designer Adam Savage has signed on to host and executive produce the new series MythBusters Jr. on the Science Channel. The 10-episode program, which is slated to debut in late 2018, will offer 6 of the nation's most talented kids a chance to show off their amazing ingenuity and stream science, technology, engineering, art, and math skills. Discovery's Nancy Daniels said in a statement Tuesday, Adam Savage is a true American original, a singular talent who inspires a generation of Mythbusters and will now get a chance to mentor a remarkable group of kid geniuses. Mythbusters is an iconic series, and to be able to expand its roster in a spectacular style with MythBusters Jr. is something that we are proud to do. Savage added, "I'm so excited to be returning to Discovery to work with these kids on a new incarnation of the show I love so much. To be able to confront them with great questions and the resources to answer them is such a dream. Helping to inspire future scientists and engineers is a mission I share with Discovery." Savage co-hosted Mythbusters from 2003 to 2016. Katherine Heigl says her Suits character is, quote, no shrinking violet. 39-year-old actress posted a photo Tuesday from the USA Network show set following news she will star in Season 8 in the wake of Meghan Markle's departure. Heigl captioned a picture of herself in the gym, day 2 on the set of @Suits_USA, getting my hands wrapped in a kickboxing scene. She added, "My character at Samantha Wheeler is no shrinking violet. She'll kick your ass in the ring and in the courtroom. Love playing a girl with gumption. Hashtag anything you can do, I can do better. Hashtag girl with gumption." USA Network confirmed in January that Heigl will join the legal drama in Season 8. The actress will play Samantha Wheeler, a new partner at Pierce Inspector Litt, who challenges the status quo at the firm. Heigl said in a statement, "Joining Suits was the perfect organic way to not only collaborate with an executive producer I admire deeply, but to also become a part of the show and cast that I'm an immense fan of." She also added, "I have watched Suits from the very beginning and feel incredibly lucky to be the newest member of the Pierce Inspector Litt family." Markle, who is set to marry British Royal Prince Harry in May, and fellow Suits star Patrick J. Adams will both depart the show after Season 7. Heigl is best known for playing Izzy Stevens on the ABC series Grey's Anatomy. Kim Zolciak says she was hurt by Marlon Wayans' White Chicks remark. The 39-year-old television personality responded in an Instagram comment Monday after Wayans likened her appearance to his character in the 2004 movie. She wrote, Was always a super big fan of yours, and my kids loved you, according to E! News. This hurts, but I guess it's all for laughs. Wayans had shared a screenshot of Zolciak from Part 1 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 10 reunion, which aired Sunday. The actor captioned the post on Instagram, "Now we are not in production for White Chicks 2. Zolciak also addressed Wayans' comment in an interview Monday with TMZ. The star said, "It's pretty disgusting. I think it's appropriate that a grown-ass man amid the hashtag #MeToo movement is knocking a woman. I think it's gross." She added, "I don't support somebody that's ignorant. I mean, it's just ignorant and it's not funny. It's not setting a good example." Zolciak came to fame on The Real Housewives of Atlanta and appeared as a friend of the Housewives in Season 10. Her co-star Kenya Moore announced during Part 1 of the reunion that she's expecting her first child. Mom of 8K Gosselin will look for love on a new TLC series. The 43-year-old television personality will star on Kate Plus Date, which will follow Gosselin as she explores dating nearly 10 years after her divorce from John Gosselin. TLC confirmed on a tweet Monday at Kate Plus My 8 is looking for love on her new series, #Kate Plus Date. Gosselin said in an interview with People magazine that she's, quote, nervous but excited about the show. She shares 17-year-old twins Carl and Maddie and 13-year-old sextuplets Aiden, Alexis, Colin, Hannah, Joel, and Lee with John, whom she split in June 2009. The star said of her kids, "It is very apparent now they are older and talking about dating and how they're all going to get married someday. It became apparent they want someone for me. They want me to have somebody in my life." She explained, "I stopped focusing on myself. I used to be a runner, and all these things sort of fell by the wayside, and I sort of forgot about the dating thing. It's never really fit into my life." Gosselin says she's open to meeting whoever, but is looking for a mature individual who respects her independence and can ultimately develop a relationship with her children. The star said, "I do want someone with a set career who is confident. A grown-up with their own life, their own agenda, who knows who they are. If someone travels for work, that would be great because I'm used to being on my own, being self-sufficient." She also added, "I would love my kids to have a mutual friendship and respect with this guy, and for him to be someone they can ask for advice. It would be great for my kids to have someone they can feel like it is a real friend." Gosselin and her family came to fame on the TLC series John and Kate Plus 8, which was renamed Kate Plus 8 following the star's divorce. Mom-to-be Jinger Duggar says she's expecting a baby girl. The 24-year-old television personality said in the blog post Monday that she, quote, could not be more excited to welcome a daughter with husband Jerry Vuval. Duggar wrote, "We're so happy to announce that we're having a baby girl. We could not be more excited and are eagerly anticipating meeting our little lady this summer." She added, "We especially love thinking forward and realizing that she will have excellent role models in both her grandmothers, who cannot wait to shower her with love." Duggar and Vuval share the news with their friends and family at a baby shower hosted by their generous pals Juan and Margarita. Duggar said in the post, "The shower was an amazing time of celebrating our new arrival with loved ones. We are overwhelmed by the kindness and thoughtful generosity of everyone." Duggar, who stars on the TLC series Counting On, said in a video on the TLC website that it was amazing to see her friends and family react to the news. She says they were just super excited. "I think the comments we heard most was, 'There's finally another girl in this family.' I think that's the big thrill at this point." Duggar's sister Jill and Jessa Duggar are both moms to two sons, while her sister Joy Ann Duggar welcomed a baby boy in February. Jinger announced her pregnancy in January and showed off her baby bump the next month. Late-night host Seth Meyers is a dad of two. The 44-year-old television personality said on Monday's episode of Late Night with Seth Meyers that wife Alexi Ash gave birth to a baby boy Axel in the lobby of their apartment building. Myers, who shares 2-year-old son Ash Olsen with Ash, said he was having a normal Sunday with his wife when she started having contractions. The couple planned to casually make their way to the hospital quickly fell apart. Myers recounted, "I'm feeding our son Ash lunch. My wife is upstairs with my mother-in-law Joan. About 20 minutes into lunch, Joan comes downstairs and just looks at me and says, 'We have to go to the hospital now.' He says my sister-in-law Ariel comes over to watch Ash. Our doula joins us. The four of us get in the elevator. My wife is in intense amount of pain. It seems like now it's just one long contraction." Myers said that their Uber was waiting outside the lobby when his wife announced the baby was coming. The star recalled my wife saying, "The baby is coming, the baby is out. I looked at my wife, and the only way I can describe how my wife looked is like she looked like someone who was trying to hide a baby in a pair of sweatpants." He says she laid down in our lobby, and we sort of created a semicircle around her. We undressed her, and the baby was just out. The head of the baby was out. I called 911, and of course, of about a minute conversation, I basically said, we're about to have a baby, we're having a baby, we had a baby. Meyers confirmed the news on the late night with Seth Meyers' official Twitter account, writing on Sunday the news edition of the Meyers family, the Meyers family, answered the world. The television personality had announced Ash's pregnancy in November. Cardi B became the first co-host of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon on Monday, days after the rapper announced she was pregnant with her first child following the release of her first album, Invasion of Privacy. Cardi B, while displaying her baby bump, joined Fallon throughout the show, including the talk show's opening monologue segment, and while Fallon interviewed his guest, comedian John Mulaney. Fallon told the 25-year-old who is expecting her child with fiancé Offset of the Migos fame that President Donald Trump was a huge fan and sent her a video message. The clip was a montage of Trump singing the lyrics to Cardi B's hit single Bodak Yellow that was assembled by putting together various speeches from the president. Cardi B, while meeting Mulaney, received a baby present from the stand-up star who gifted her a cardigan that referred to as Cardi G. Cardi B said, "It's so cute." Cardi B also posted on Instagram a baby gift basket she received from Fallon, which included a chia print sweater, a purple blanket, and a glamorous-looking bottle, his book, Everything is Mama, and a teddy bear. Gwen Stefani's rumored Las Vegas residency show is happening. The 48-year-old singer said in a Facebook post Tuesday that she will kick off her Just a Girl residency show at the Zappos Theater in Planet Hollywood in June. She wrote, "It's happening, my very first Las Vegas residency. Just a Girl is opening June 27th. Tickets for all 25 dates go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Stefani will perform dates in June, July, and December, and in February and March of 2019. She said on Tuesday's episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show that she's, quote, really excited about the venture. The star announced, I'm going to be doing my first ever Vegas residency. I know I'm doing it, but it just doesn't feel real yet. She added, I feel really nervous about it, but really excited. Stefani attended Jennifer Lopez's All I Have residency show at Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood in March amid rumors she would have her own residency at the casino. Stefani last released the holiday album You Make It Feel Like Christmas in October. Kesha helps marry a real-life same-sex couple in her new music video for I Need a Woman to Love, a reimagining of Janis Joplin's I Need a Man to Love. The clip, released Monday, features Kesha traveling to Las Vegas in order to officiate the marriage between Danny and Lindsay, who are seen discussing their wedding, and the pop star. Kenya says people should be able to love whoever they want to love. That's what love is. The couple recalled in the video seeing Kesha perform during a Pride event where anti-LGBTQ protesters were present. She said, Danny and Lindsay says, she said something like, the protesters are out there, but in here it's all love. Danny and Lindsay are also seen exchanging vows before Kesha pronounces the pair married. I Need a Woman to Love is part of the Universal Love EP, a collection of reimagining wedding songs for the LGBTQ community. Bob Dylan, St. Vincent, Def Cab for Cuties, Ben Gilbert, Block Party frontman Keely Overreich, and Valerie June are also featured on the release. Carrie Underwood says her face is healing pretty nicely in the wake of her fall. The 35-year-old singer gave an update in a letter to fans Monday after injuring her face and wrist during an incident in November. Underwood wrote, physically, I'm doing pretty darn good these days. My wrist is almost back to normal, about 90% there, and the doctor says that the last 10% will come with time. And my face has been healing pretty nicely as well. I definitely feel more like myself than I have in a while. She added, one of the silver linings for me in this healing process is the time I've gotten to spend with Mike and Isaiah, referencing to husband Mike Fisher and 3-year-old son Isaiah. Sometimes I think things happen in order to make us slow down. Underwood had initially announced she broke her wrist after falling at home. She later said in a post to fans that she also injured her face to the point where she required more than 40 stitches. The star said, I spare you the gruesome details, but when I came out of surgery the night of my fall, the doctor told Mike that he had put between 40 and 50 stitches in. Underwood will perform a new single Sunday at the 2018 Academy Country Music Awards. She confirmed in Monday's letter that she has been working on new music. The singer says, I've been in the studio writing and singing a ton, but I've also been able to create in a way that I've never been before, which has been very fulfilling and empowering. She shares, "The first single is a song I love so much and can't wait to share with you. It's called Cry Pretty. The title references when emotions take over and you just can't hold them back. It really speaks to a lot of things that have happened in the past year." And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1961, Bob Dylan plays his first major gig in New York City. Who knows how many other young men arrived in New York City in the winter of 1961 looking like James Dean and talking like Jack Kerouac. It would have been difficult to pick Bob Dylan out of the crowd at first, considering how much he had in common with the other bohemian kids kicking around Greenwich Village. Artistic ambition? Check. Apathy towards mainstream culture? Yes. A desire to put his middle-class identity behind him? Definitely. But the singular creative vision that would separate Dylan from the rest of his peers and change the face of popular music wasn't really in evidence yet. What Bob Dylan did have, though, in addition to his guitar and harmonica, was a unique stage presence and a vast library of American songs in his repertoire. On this date in 1961, he got his first real chance to put those on display with his first major gig in New York City, opening for bluesman John Lee Hooker at Gerd's Folk City. Bob Dylan had arrived in town a few months earlier, but as the prominent producer-talent scout John Hammond would write in the liner notes of his debut album 1 year later, the young man from the Providences began to make friends very quickly in New York, all the while continuing, as he had since he was 10, to simulate musical ideas from everyone he met, every record he heard. Dylan befriended not only his idol Woody Guthrie, who was hospitalized in New Jersey, had been the initial impetus for Dylan to come east from Minnesota, but also some of the significant figures of the burgeoning downtown folk scene like Ramblin' Jack Elliott and Dave Van Ronk. Dylan would write about the period in Talkin' New York, which includes a verse about his breakthrough gig at Gerd's. "After weeks and weeks of hanging around, I finally got a job in New York town, in a bigger place, bigger money too, even joined the union and paid my dues." Gerd's was probably the most important folk music venue in New York City at the time, the club that every folk act was with the national profile played when they were in town. Dylan had previously joined other unknowns like himself on stage at Gerd's during the club's Monday Hootenanny Night, but the invitation to appear on a regular bill presented a bit of an administrative problem. At just 19 years old, Bob Dylan was too young to obtain a necessary union card and cabaret license. One of the club owners, Mike Porco, was interested enough in getting the young man on the bill, though he signed on as Dylan's guardian, the Sicilian father I never knew I had, as Dylan put it. A number of major developments in that year would set Bob Dylan on his road to stardom. But the very first of those was his appearance at Gerd's Folk City on this date in 1961. Also on this date in 1988, at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, the actress and singer Cher collects an Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Moonstruck. Caroline Circassian, who was born on May 20th, 1946, first became famous as the taller female half of the 1960 singing duo Sonny and Cher alongside her future husband, Sonny Bono. The two scored their first hit, I Got You Babe, in 1965. Their television series, the Sonny and Cher comedy era, ran from 1971 to 1974, when the couple split after having one child, Chastity. By that time, Cher had launched into a music career, scoring hit singles like Gypsy Tramps and Thieves, Half Breed, and Dark Lady, 1974. Her short-lived solo TV effort, Cher, fared worse, as did her brief second marriage to musician Greg Allman. By the end of the 1970s, Cher was a single mom. She had a son, Elijah Blewett Allman, with a stalled career. She began studying acting at Lee Strasberg's famed Actors Studio in New York City, and soon landed a part in Robert Altman's Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, in 1982. The following year, in her New York incarnation as a series actress, Cher won a Golden Globe and was nominated for an Oscar for a supporting role in Silkwood starring Meryl Streep. She turned in another critical acclaimed performance as the mother of a boy with severe facial deformities in Mask in 1985. Though she didn't get an Oscar nomination for that role, Cher caused a stir at the Oscars when she arrived wearing a show-stopping black dress, complete with an exposed midriff and enormous feather headdress. Bob Mackie, who collaborated with Cher began on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, designed the outfit. In 1987, Cher had no fewer than 3 high-profile movies at the box office: The Witches of Eastwick, co-starring Jack Nicholson, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer; Suspect, co-starring Dennis Quaid; and Moonstruck. Directed by Norman Jewison, the last film featured Cher as a widow who falls in love with her fiance's brother, played by Nicolas Cage. At the 60th Annual Academy Awards ceremony, Moonstruck won in 3 categories, including Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress for Olympia Dukakis, and Best Original Screenplay. To pick up her gold statuette, Cher did not disappoint, wearing a black mesh bob meki with strategically black sequins barely covering key areas of her famously sculpted body. At the time of her Oscar win, Cher's musical career was also flourishing. Her 1986 self-titled album contained hit singles written with Michael Bolton, I Found Someone, and John Bon Jovi, We All Sleep Alone. And she released another million-selling album, Heart of Stone, in 1988. Though her acting career largely stalled after her next movie, Mermaids, in 1990, she roared back onto the pop charts yet again in the late 1990s with the irresistible hit single Believe, and remains an indomitable icon of pop culture and entertainment. And that is your entertainment report for Wednesday, April 11th, 2018. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.